No.
Beep, beep, I'm a
Beep,
sheep.
beep, I'm a sheep. Beep, 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 I'm a sheep.
And I'm back.
Beep, beep, I'm a
We
sheep.
are live.
Beep, beep, I'm a sheep. Yeah, I know. I'm just illustrating how my polymorph spell works if I ever play a mage in Warcraft.
I mean, and then it becomes a techno remix the second time you come back to it.
I was
because
trying
Tom
to make
Ska is
a clever
hilarious.
meme off of two things I don't do, which is tweeting and apparently being a sheep.
I can't. My brain isn't letting me tweet.
You make a pithy remark
Hello,
and then you
everybody.
link to Twitch stream.
I can't even type Storm, Earth, and Fire apparently. Storm.
Hello, everybody.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
We would like to make an apology in advance. The sound in this episode may be catterjankus. We have done what we can to resolve it, and if the sound explodes, yell at us. But there's nothing we can do about it.
By catterjankus, he means more than usual, because
last week somebody left some of the mics on without turning them off.
Oh well.
We didn't have either of you guys to remind us.
I feel like turning the mics off isn't something we should have to remind you of.
I turn these
Usually Rudy does it.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna blame Wayne because he's the GM.
anyway.
What number is this?
13.
Thank you.
I'm just
Hey.
here.
I accidentally grabbed this.
Are you meditating with a normal?
No. I just have a narwhal on my head.
You already have a hat sack, right? Well, now I feel left out.
I'm not one to be out.
It's okay. You are left out because I'm left blocking you.
That's not gonna stay.
My head is
Your
not
head's not as
flat at
flat
all.
as we think it is.
You don't have that cult flat head.
Oh, you're holding this, are you?
How long did it take for you to realize that?
I could get it.
So, are we gonna introduce ourselves?
I was waiting for the opportunity to actually do that, but you guys are apparently not gonna.
We're not gonna give it to you. You have to take it.
You have to take it.
So hello, welcome back
Who's in
to
charge
the
here
Warcraft
anyway?
RPG Storm, Earth, and Fire. I am William, and I am your storyteller dungeon master for this Warcraft RPG 5th edition campaign, using the rules of my own creation. Joining me today, we have Stan.
Yes, we do. I'm gonna play Josh, the Goblin Tinker, who's a Technomage. Technomystic. I don't know. I forgot.
And Zachary.
Hi, I'm Zach. I'm playing a Leaf Ironmender, half-orc Tinker Priest of the Holy Light.
And Rudy.
Yeah, I'm Rudy. I'm playing Break Earth Whisperer, Tauren Rune Master.
And Austin, whose character's name is Jangatal.
Hi. I'm playing a troll hunter, and his snack friend.
And Holly.
And I am playing Snake Friend, apparently. I am actually playing Shiana Flamecover. She's an orc, a sassy, stab
A
rogue.
sassy?
A sassy.
She's a sassy assassin.
A sassy stab rogue.
Yes, she's a sassy assassin.
And John.
I'm John. I'm playing the Tweet. I am playing Garrick. Garrick Cloud Speaker, whose last name I forget because I didn't come up with it. The orc spirit champion, who is slowly accruing orcish accoutrement as he goes along. Sort of like a giant Katamari with giant things attached to it.
Wait, I didn't realize Katamari was an option. I want to play a Katamari.
I mean,
No,
if we could play Katamari,
that's a
then I think
calamari.
the entire party
A
would be-
Katamari is a ball that just accumulates trash and gets bigger as it goes.
and turns into a star.
I'm aware of what a Katamari is. I did not misspeak.
No, I was
Kalamari style.
The Stan said calamari.
I said calamari.
So, when last we left off with this group of
She did
adventurers,
What I do?
the group had begun to make their way to accomplish a couple of tasks set to them by Vol'jin, the chieftain of the Dark Spear tribe of trolls. The first of which was to travel down to Theramore, a task that Vol'jin could not accomplish himself or with any of his Dark Spears because, according to him, the eyes of the Horde, and especially the War Chief, rest often among the Dark Spear, and they would be watched if they made the attempt. So, the Soaring Fang was recruited to deliver a message first to Jaina Proudmoore of the city of Theramore, and then to Rexar, the champion of the Horde, who they discovered from conversation with Jaina Proudmoore is currently in Ungoro Crater. After receiving a teleportation from Jaina to Tanaris, the nearest safe location that she could send the group, they arrived in Gadgetzan and decided to find a place to rest for the evening. They located the Road Warrior Inn in Gadgetzan
However,
and begun to have drink and food when the goblin noticed a Forsaken who was taking a good runaway with a gambling table that he decided he wanted to try and interfere with, while the one-armed orc of the party, Shiana, decided that she was going to get drunk for the first time in a very long time, and after a certain amount of drinking, first started singing, then started a bar fight. Which the priest attempted to hold down and did for the most part, but not everyone was able to fall under the sway of his calm emotion spells. So we rejoin right there as the group is in the quiet calm before the storm, as individuals are turning and taking in what has happened, and just enough people are not currently under the effects of calm emotions that unless something is done immediately, a bar brawl is inevitable.
What is it like? What's happening?
So
yet?
Shiana is currently
Okay, so-
on the bar throwing mugs.
well, she started off breaking a chair on somebody, and then she jumped up on the bar and she's going to start throwing mugs.
Am I even in this place right now? or-
Yes, you are here.
So
Okay.
You are present.
I am going to try to stop this at some point.
when I figured out that she's on the bar behind me, I am going to...
Throws a goblin.
No, I'm going to Misty Step behind the undead guy and thumb my nose at her, which for a goblin is really obscene. And see if she throws stuff at me and hits him.
Do you take the bait?
Is there a,
I mean,
is there
does
a
she
taunt
know?
check?
Does she know that that's really insulting?
I mean,
I mean,
is thumbing your nose
you
at
know
someone
it's
insulting
me
to you?
glaring
And,
at you,
and it's the goblin.
and you
Also,
hate me
she's,
anyway.
Like, really drunk. If you were growing on her, you were.
But this is
I have a
good.
pencil. You have a pencil with an eraser?
With an eraser, that's a tall order.
Well, I got two erasers there.
Well, that's lucky. He started eating them now.
Oh, did it? Well, I found one on the floor last week.
Sorry.
Anyway.
As we go to Gravity Falls.
Sorry.
In the midst of this chaos, I just stand up and I'm going to activate my harness and just yell out, "Enough!" to try to make everyone stop.
This is
spike the mics.
this is not a large environment, so you will probably
Try to make an intimidation check with the scream.
go ahead. Make me an intimidation check.
Do I have any still advantage because of the volume of the screaming harness?
Yeah, go ahead.
Scare people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
well, yeah, but they're all going to jump and start beating on each other.
Well, no. If they
You gotta stop her. She's on target.
if they fall to the thing, they just run away. They don't start attacking.
Well, they are frightened.
Oh,
Condition.
frightened. Okay.
So that's going to be a 23 intimidation check.
Cool. It's a wisdom save?
It's a charisma save versus
Charisma save?
the thing. But the intimidation is whatever you think an intimidation check
Yeah.
is.
Holly, make me a charisma saving throw.
Okay. That's
You're not
gonna be
super
good.
Though being frightened makes it hard to resist the intimidation.
Yes.
Disadvantage. So
Oh, that was a 1.
you are currently frightened of Garrick.
So, as Garrick stands in the center of this room and fills his chest, and the armor that he wears begins to just faintly glow on the edges and the spikes. And as his lungs fill and his jaw opens almost unnaturally wide, and he bellows out this command, it echoes loudly, like to a distance of 300 feet. The shout is audible, but all those within 30 feet are the ones who might be affected by it, which also means I need you, unless you're excluding him from the effect.
Only the people that are fighting.
Okay. Because you choose who is affected by it.
Yeah.
So those who are in combat just suddenly freeze as the large impressive orc bellows out his command What does Shiana do?
You said she's afraid?
You're under the
Magically
frightened
afraid.
condition.
You're magically afraid. Also, I made an intimidation check with the enough check, but that's the
Okay,
thing.
she, then she's gonna drop down behind the bar to her stomach. Stumble off the bar and drop down behind it. Crash.
Garrett yells so loud somebody dies.
And then a few moments later, there is a bustle on the outside of the tavern as a group of goblins begin to muscle their way into the tavern and start to look around. All of them wearing these sort of heavy harnesses of sort of half plate and with large vicious looking clubs on their shoulders. Some of them with guns. As they make their way into the tavern, and sort of the leader kind of, all right, sort of looks around at the group as the environment is dying down. All right, looks like the bar fight died on its own. No more trouble. He looks around, sort of looks at the group, and
Walking over to the bar to retrieve our drunk.
he looks over at the inn owner. Anything major? The tavern owner kind of looks over. I lost a chair. I'll charge him for it. And the bruiser sort of, all right. We like to keep gadgets in a safe place, so stay out of trouble, he says to the entire tavern. And then the bruisers sort of begin to leave. I'm keeping an eye on all of you. And he turns and walks out.
Keep an eye on all of you by walking away. We'll reach over the bar to try to pick Shiana up.
How long does it last?
I mean, she broke line of sight,
Is it
so I
the
don't
next
know.
round? Or
It doesn't say. Oh wait, no, 1d6 plus 3 rounds. Hang on. 7 rounds. So 6 seconds times 7.
so just over half a minute.
And it says that you have to voluntarily get away from the cause of your.
No, it says you cannot voluntarily move closer.
Closer.
Yeah, you can't get close.
Mhm.
And you have disadvantage as long as they're in line of sight. On everything.
So for the next 36 seconds. So for the next half a minute.
But yeah, so I'm just gonna head over. Now that everybody just stop fighting.
Is she still under the effect right now?
So
For the next
30 seconds.
20 seconds.
By the time I
that's
get
fine.
to you, probably.
Yeah, I was
not.
gonna say it takes. Yeah.
Yeah, by the time I get to you, it'll be just about wearing off. Look down over the bar. Are you ready to go?
You are terrifying.
Yes, I am.
She's still drunk.
Reach down and try to pick Shiana up, and basically over one shoulder.
Whee!
This is where you're supposed to be staying for the night. So
You're really strong.
Where are rooms?
the road warrior is one giant central room with just bunks on the sides.
Okay,
So
let's get you to bed. I'll carry over to wherever had been designated, and if nothing had been designated, I'm claiming some,
Yeah.
even if that means throwing somebody out of one.
Yeah. So you find some empty hammocks basically.
Put her in.
As he is putting her in, Shauna's gonna lean in and try to kiss him.
orcs.
What's happening?
Drunks.
Garrett gets kissed. You're very drunk.
Very drunk.
Very drunky.
Half his house, probably.
All the drunk. Many much drunk. More drunk than you can shake a stick at.
Do you take a cloth before you put her to bed?
No.
You don't take
so.
even a drunk orc. You don't take the weapon away.
That's a stabbing. If she tears the hammock up, whatever, it's fine. Like, she's too drunk to toss and turn her at the moment. So just put her there. I'm just gonna pull up a chair or something and sit down next to the hammock in case she does fling herself out.
Mm-hmm. And so at this moment, the bar has quieted back down.
I've got I don't think you can do 94 points of damage to me in one hit because this isn't 3.5. So
Not without a critical hit and a lot of sneak attack.
Which she's not getting right now.
Yeah.
so it's fine. You stab me in your sleep. It's like go back to sleep. Heal. I have cure wounds. Actually, do I have? No, I don't. No, that would be a thing that would make sense to take.
What, prayer of healing?
Lesser restoration.
Yeah.
I don't have that. So. Also, did your husband pass out?
He's doing something in the garage.
Why did he go to the garage?
He's
Of all places.
You got something made of paper?
He's getting paper
Oh.
out of the car probably. Anyway. So okay, I guess we just go to bed for the night. And,
do the rest of the rowdy patrons seem to have chilled the fuck out?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
Once the instigator of the bar fight is down, the rest of the fight just kind of dies out.
Okay. I'll just sit there being a very large, intimidating orc.
You do your job.
Yeah.
okay.
Major crisis averted.
So we're in Gadget Zam proper.
Yeah. This is one of the inns in Gadazan.
Gadget Zam has little to no interest for a troll.
It's a desert town.
There are raptors.
They exist, yeah.
I think that's what you did last time we were here, wasn't it?
Yeah, chilled with the raptors, spoke with the raptors,
Hanging out with your people.
my peeps.
I will get a drink. Like, just a big mug of grog or whatever.
Sure. Oh, yes, you didn't hear. There's a variety of different drinks that you can get, but the popular drink for this tavern is known as the Mex on the Beach.
What is that?
It's sort of it's the spice rum with sort of like a honey added to it, like a dark honey to make it look black like oil. And it's served in like a stylized mug that looks like an oil drum.
Yeah, not gonna drink anything that requires an explanation, basically. If it requires an explanation, Garrick isn't interested. Wrong.
Sure. But Shiana definitely had a couple mechs on the beaches.
Aha. That would explain.
Yeah.
Just one large mug. Just sit there.
Doing a pub crawl would be such a bad thing for Aaron in World of Warcraft because all of the drink names are puns.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, it would be bad in Conflux already because all the bars are puns.
So I guess we just go to bed and forget about it.
Right.
Well, Shiana's certainly forgetting about it.
Do you have anything else you need to do before you turn in for the night?
So, I have an idea of a thing to make.
Okay, you're gonna discuss all that.
Yeah.
What is it? Okay.
So I'm going to talk with him about possibly making this. Because I basically want to make a fairly simple, sort of an X-ray goggle type of device.
Okay.
Basically, I want to make something that can see through a single layer of paper.
Dust paper?
Yes. Even if I just have to cobble it single use or something.
I see our priest is working on his peep goggles.
So you're thinking like a single thickness of paper and no other materials, or
Yeah.
Yes.
That is nice.
good.
Yeah.
Because I have a letter that I'm suddenly very curious about.
Yeah, you could probably use. You could.
the letters folded, so you can only see through the external, and you see the back of the letter, so you don't just see what's on the inside.
Do you have jury rig as a feature yet?
I do.
I forget what level that comes
Yeah.
at.
I do. If we do this together or whatever. I forgot how that works.
So I was thinking what I could possibly do is like create some kind of a device that does...
Jury rig comes in at level 5 of Tinker.
Yeah, and I'm only level 4.
I'm 10. So
So I was thinking what I could do is do like a very faintly magical device that basically emanate some kind of a magic that will sort of stick to the ink to a degree, and then I can just read it with the detect magic.
I would say it would cost probably about. I'm just gonna spitball a number here. You're probably looking at like it's a minor magical item essentially is what you're making out of technology, and so you'd probably be looking at about 350 gold worth of materials.
Is that really worth it?
I could scavenge it back up.
Some of it.
And if if you give him the materials, he can jury rig that now, or you can cobble it and make progress towards it.
Do you share this desire with the rest?
He's just talking to us.
I'm just talking with him
Yeah, just curious.
right now.
Yeah. We can.
Between the two of you, you have 3 cobbles a day.
Yeah.
Because a cobble.
Oh no, yeah,
Cobble's
you're,
attack
you're,
points,
you're
right?
full tinker, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, cobble's the number of uses per day.
Oh, right.
So you got 3 per day, and he's got 1.
Right.
So you got 4. You got 4 cobbles between you.
So I'm just level 4 tinker.
Yeah.
They're tinkering things.
No, you can make a cobble check and then use March of Progress with your tech points to make more progress.
Yeah, basically. You just
I can
sitting
use-
there with the drink, just
Yeah. A lot of. I mean,
shamelessly beer.
what is it? 350.
Yeah.
Because-
You're higher level.
10th level. I mean, I get 250 of that. I can do just by my
And
notion. I just have to
He
roll.
doesn't mind. It's just
100.
he's drunk, so he's not gonna do anything.
Just have to roll over 100
Yeah, no, it's fine.
to get it done right now.
Yeah.
Or we could do it.
You could try that, and then if that's not
tonight.
enough, you can spend March of Progress points.
Well,
It's just like
or
it's
finish it
like-
tomorrow. We're not going to be able to deliver it until we get.
Just roll. Just roll.
oh, and
You
because
ordered-
you guys have industrious haste, so you make twice the normal amount of gold whenever you.
Yeah.
And how does collaborative stuff work with this?
At the moment, it's not too complicated for either of you, so you can both just make progress on it.
Oh,
Okay. So that'll be we can make.
Yeah,
We can make one of
so-
these outright. You
Go
want
ahead and do it,
Okay,
yeah.
So
let's just make sure I.
just don't roll ones. 26.
14. That was it. 24.
24 and 26.
Okay, yeah, the DC was only 16, so you
Yeah.
both make. I believe the normal amount is 50 gold worth of progress, so you both make 100 gold worth of progress, and you can.
I can use
Yeah.
all my. I can use all 10 of my points and have
This
it
is just a
done
regular drink, not a Mexican.
because
Cool.
I'm gonna go to bed anyway.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we can actually finish that. If you wanna
Yeah.
Put out the. Okay, so that gives you.
Oh,
No, like basically since like since.
See, now I got extra goggles specific for.
That's gonna eventually.
yeah, very specific rules.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
not saying it's gonna be Shiana or someone else.
You can always sell it if you want to.
So yeah, you between the two of you, you managed to cobble it together.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I want to go ahead and see what this is that we are dealing with.
He wants to read the message
Okay.
that we're supposed to deliver.
Because I kind of want to know why the Alliance has to get involved in all this.
So you turn the goggles on.
Want me to
and-
roll for that?
Yeah, roll me a quick use tech device. The DC is 8. So
Yeah.
and,
I
and
make it
because
by-
you both cobbled on it, the malfunction rating is 3.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I make it by 12.
yeah, so you turn them on, and because it's magic, you can just it's. I feel like it's probably cantrip level. You probably don't even have to expend much fuel using it.
Mhm.
So you turn it on and look through the first layer of the letter, and what you make out is basically it's folded. So and you can only see like the first couple of paragraphs.
Mhm.
But what you make out in this very elegant hand, which you don't typically expect from a troll, but it's very well written.
Because the other one said it, because Jaina Proudmoore said that it was from
Bane.
Yeah.
And you don't know either Bane or Vol'jin's handwriting, so
Yeah.
you can't tell who this is. But it says to Rexar, champion of the Horde, and it Vol'jin of the Darkspear tribe gives respectful greetings, and it goes into a great many trials and challenges have risen for the Horde in recent days, and though you have been one to wander and have ventured far from the homeland of both your people and of the Horde in general, you have always been known as a champion of its values, of its core beliefs, and I fear that the time is drawing near where you may be called upon to defend those values once again. This time, perhaps not from an external threat, but from an internal one. There are matters which have drawn my attention, and which have become dangerous for my people. The Horde itself is in danger of becoming... And that's where the page folds, and you can't read anymore.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Good to know.
So.
That's it for the day, I guess.
Alright. So you all get in a long rest.
Is this basically what the war song armor looks like?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's basically what the war song armor looks like.
Okay. So you all wake up the next morning.
Nope.
Some of us a little more hungover than others.
Reach up and into a glass of a cup of water.
Mm,
You should drink this.
okay.
It'll help. Leaf, you don't have any spells for hangovers, do you?
I can't say I've ever...
Would lesser
Right.
restoration cure a hangover?
I can't say I've ever tried, but it's worth a shot. Lesser
It's-
restoration.
It flushes any remaining irritants and toxins from your body, and the hangover does, not immediately, but quickly disperses.
Meanwhile, I do a prestidigitation.
Anyone
Little
like to
pink
tell me
elephants
what I did
floating around
last
her head.
night?
Well,
There was...
you got
You see
drunk.
that chair over there?
You got drunk.
Oh, by the way, the bar owner charges you a gold piece for the chair.
I'll pay.
You can take it out of my-
I'll pay the gold piece.
It's a goblin.
He's overcharging
Yeah.
significantly.
It was my favorite shit.
It's either overcharge or press charges. So, you know what? I'll take
You
it.
got drunk. You started a bar fight. I stopped the bar fight.
Okay.
I put you to bed,
Okay.
and you kissed me on your way out.
She turns like 50 shades of red and sinks
Which is
into
tough
the
when you're
hammock.
green.
It's just like a very ruddy shade of green.
Yes.
You look like a watermelon.
Orc blood is very dark red. Like our blood is very bright red, theirs is like deep vermilion.
Vermilion.
I don't think Vermilion's a red.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
I don't think it's a. I'm looking it up right now. It's very low. I mean,
Firm what shade? Gianna is right now.
Yeah, E4 vermilion red is a dark red, if you want to step over here and look.
I'll take your word for it.
Cute.
That's
Okay.
Vermilion.
I don't know if I would.
That seems the color
Vermilion-
of human blood, really.
Vermilion goes to sort of like the purplish end of red, but it's still red.
Okay, it depends. There's different shades of
Yeah.
vermilion. We've gotten off topic.
Yes, there are many different shades of all colors, Austin. That's how color
Well,
works.
but I mean, there's vermilion.
Color.
Anyway, aside from discourse on vermilion being bright red or dark red, I think burgundy would be a more appropriate.
Sure, we'll call it burgundy.
Possibly demonic.
There's. I'll put it to you this way.
I was going to say that, but I
Dark
During
blood is dark red.
I'll put it to you this way. During the first 2 wars, orcs earned the derogatory sobriquet Black Bloods because their blood is so dark red it looks almost black in the right light.
Okay.
Okay. So like
Sobriquet.
navy
Someone's
blue.
breaking out fancy words.
Yeah, it was a real bad bar fight.
Someone's
Lost your
feeling
arm.
particularly sesquipedalian.
Hi, Ron.
I mean,
The bar crumbles specifically on Garrett.
That wasn't Garrick. That was me.
I know.
What's near me right now? Because I feel like she throws.
Logorrhea can overcome us at any given
Yes, pick
moment.
him up.
We can all get a little
She tried.
verbose at times.
She's drunk. No.
Probably a book or something in her bag goes hurling through the air at you.
Oh,
Okay.
at the
At
goblin.
him,
the
yeah. After that comment, yes.
I missed the comment.
I made a
He
sad
said
comment
it was
about
a bad bar fight. You lost your arm.
So, what are you up to?
We gotta hit the trail and head, what, west?
West.
Okay, we'll go that way.
Leaning over towards the hammock. Ready to leave?
Just
Because
Give-
you have to
give me a minute.
go from there
I'll go. I'll go.
to there.
Do we have mounts other than mine?
No,
We don't
because you took a boat. You took a boat to
we took
Theramore.
Yeah.
I'll
And then we
go.
took a portal to here.
I'll go see about acquiring some mounts for everyone.
right. Okay.
'Cause how far of a journey is it from here to the crater?
To the crater on foot is probably 4 days.
Nice.
On mount, you'll cut it in half.
I'm gonna go find. If there is one, not a. If there is a mount dealer that is not a goblin, I will find that one.
That's a good question.
Insist? Jeez.
I know how goblins work.
Not all goblins.
I know how goblins work.
I can go with you to get the price down.
Yeah, the best way to deal with a goblin trying to cheat you is to bring a goblin who tries to cheat people.
I mean,
if there's not a mountain dealer that isn't a goblin, yes, I will bring.
well, your options are a goblin or a dwarf.
Dwarf.
All go
Actually.
along?
Yeah. Come on. Is it a Forsaken dwarf or
No, it's a living
a
dwarf.
living dwarf? That'll be fun.
Hey, we won't have dead horses.
So as you look around,
Because I don't know the dwarf because I'm not sure if we share a language.
I mean, I
There's 8
speak
languages.
8 different languages. 4 from the Horde and 4 from the Alliance.
Good.
which 4 from the Alliance?
Dwarven, Gnomish, Common, and Darnassian.
Okay, yeah, you speak plenty.
So I speak all the common ones and all the common Horde languages.
I speak Orcish, Sandali,
speak-
and Kalimag.
Oh, I
Orcish.
also speak Goblin, which I guess is
Is a neutral
so
language, but yeah.
3 Horde languages and
And
Four
I mean, goblins. There is a significant goblin cartel that is part of the Horde. So you speak on the Horde side. You speak Orcish, Goblin,
Orcish, Goblin, Zandali, and Torahi.
Tarahi. Okay, you don't speak Thalassian. Which, to be fair, Darnassian is similar to Thalassian, but it's sort of like German is similar to, I don't know, Dutch. Yeah.
Although Night Elves and
Dutch,
Night Elves
sort
and
of
Blood
like
Elves can't.
German.
Night
which
Elves
are
and Blood Elves can't
always
talk to each other.
spinning.
So. Night Elves and Blood Elf. In fact, Night Elf Demon Hunters and Blood Elf Demon Hunters are the only way in World of Warcraft that you can talk.
Not anymore, actually. They added a potion that allows you to speak cross
Oh,
faction
did
now.
they? Nice. I always found it funny that that orcs can understand NPCs speaking common, but not player characters speaking common.
Game mechanics.
All NPCs are bilingual.
But yeah,
AKA they're not from America.
yeah, I was about to say America has the lowest percentage of bilingual people in the world.
I am learning Spanish at the moment, so yeah.
But yeah, there's a potion now that lets you speak cross faction.
That's completely off topic.
Yeah, but yeah. So you approach one of the two animal masters in the city. There's Lazarus, who is the stable master, who is a goblin, and then there's the Griffin master. Well, technically there's three. There's Lazarus, the stable master, Barra Stonehammer, the dwarven Griffin master, and Bullcrek Ragefist, the Wind Rider master. But you don't suspect that Bullcrek will have anything but Wind Riders.
I mean,
That'd be
I
fun.
can't summon a Wind Rider, so no.
What's a Wind Rider?
It's a wyvern.
They ride the wind.
And they're flying mounts. But I don't have find Greater Steed yet, so I can't find a flying mount.
Wind Rider is the colloquial term for the wyverns.
Cool.
So
We're all colloquial.
head over to
Hit
the dwarf.
with the kids and cool with the.
Head over to
the
the dwarf.
Did someone just talk?
So
I'm
you
so hip with the youth, and you're a youth, right?
you're what 2 years younger than me?
Yeah.
What?
You're not 21 yet,
Not quite.
3 years younger than me?
so you're a youth, and I'm hip with
December. December, I will take him and get him all drunk.
Sure.
I want to be in on the.
You're a lot more willing than Kira was.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I
you.
mean,
I can imagine you taking him out, and he just drinks one of everything, and he's just totally fine, unaffected by all of it.
That won't happen. Trust me, I'll be there.
So you approach Barra.
have a scarring experience, so I.
It won't be scarring. It'll be fun.
So and you approach her, and she turns to look at the group of you, and you can see that immediate suspicion of why are all of these horde races approaching
No, just
me
two
right
of
now.
us. Just two of us.
Okay, yeah, it's
Just me and Leaf.
And I'm half human.
You're also half orc,
So
I mean, yes.
and the half orc shows more prominently.
They
For some reason, everyone
always
harps on the half-orc.
assume the worst.
But in
Everyone,
my case, the human shines forth a lot more than normal.
Only
everyone,
once you start conversation.
everyone looks at you.
I mean,
and sees the other.
I am
faction.
legitimately a lot more lean than most
Yeah,
half
but
orcs.
as he said, to quote Garona, a human looks at me and says I'm too orcish. An orc looks at me and says I'm too human.
Even though she's not human at all.
Yeah.
She's half Draenei.
I mean,
Um,
And Draenei are orc in proportions, which is weird. It's weird that she got smaller.
I mean, female Draenei aren't.
Nah, it's a female Draenei aren't. Anyways.
So, yeah, she turns and you can see that immediate suspicion on her face as she looks at the two of you approaching.
I'm gonna throw it out there and try because I know some dwarves are shamans. I will say hello in Kalimag.
She looks up at you for a second, looks over at you. What was he saying?
speaking in what language?
In common.
Okay.
You don't know what I was saying if you don't speak Kalimag.
No, I do not.
I'll go for an orc. I tried to say hello. It didn't work.
Hello. We're here to rent, or would we rent it or purchase?
Depends on the price.
We're looking into prices for acquiring mounts for a journey that we're taking.
And where are you heading?
I look at you. I can't think of the name.
Does
Angora Crater.
Angora Crater.
Angora Crater. So not terribly far from here, but a few days.
And into one of the most dangerous areas on the continent.
Well,
life goes on.
That's what we do.
I'm just sitting here hearing half the conversation because I don't understand what she'd say.
So what are you looking for?
What kind of mounts can I see, or?
She's got griffins. She's got rams, which have had their hair cut very short for the desert. She's got and these weird, like, humped things with long necks. you've never seen before.
I've got my divinely inspired wolf behind me.
Well, I imagine whatever would be best for desert travel.
There's the camels, which can last a long time on endurance. They're hardy creatures. They're not the fastest. If you're looking to get over the desert faster, you want a griffin, because there's nothing that beats the wing in the air. Or you can take one of the rams if you're looking somewhere in the middle.
You didn't take the steam suit in the end?
No, I don't have the wagon or the steam suit or the Kodos.
Well, we're traveling relatively light, so
6.
what would be
What
We're
can
going
you
right-
ride on?
I've got my wolf.
You got okay.
I have fine steed.
So
I
you
can
just
get my own.
okay.
Yeah.
but you wouldn't be able to keep up with the griffins.
Yeah, I can't find a flying mount yet.
Hmm.
That's the trick there. Like if we get a flying mount, we'll have to buy one for all
Camels
of
will
us.
probably be the cheapest, but then you got to figure out how long it's going to take us.
What would be the rate for the griffin?
That depends on if you're looking to buy or rent.
Ideally, renting, I imagine. Probably just for a few days, possibly,
4, 5, 10.
I suppose, 5 days.
Well, for 5 days, I can charge you a price of 10 gold a day
For a griffin?
per griffin.
Each.
I will say,
Steed.
I can probably hear Griffin. I can understand Griffin, but probably not much
Yeah,
else.
it's a proper noun.
I will lean over. If you're talking about griffins, if we're looking for flying mounts, then we could probably get a better deal at the Wind Riders. I was over here. If we wanted land mounts, this would be the place to talk to.
Yes. What about for the rams?
You can buy a ram for 50 gold each, but if you're looking to rent them, that would probably run you around price of travel. And you see she's legitimately doing consideration.
Buying seems better because they'll probably die.
Not necessarily.
Also, if we
buy
get
'em and
flying
bring 'em
mounts, we can use them
Yeah, if we
ever
get
more and go places.
if we get flying mounts, absolutely we can go other places. Buying them, however, is drastically more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have money.
You'd be looking about 5 silver a day.
That's not much.
5 silver a day?
Do we have to come back here?
I say for your benefit.
You do know that if you take flying mounts, you'll probably be there in a day.
In Orcish to you. If we're looking at flying instead of riding, we can always check in with the Wind Riders, see what those cost.
Yes, that might be a good idea. Also,
I forget, is expediency part of our operation?
ideally,
The faster you get done, the faster you get paid. Also, the faster you go, the more likely you are to find Rexar and not him wander off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's here now. But
Because Jaina found him in Ungoro by scrying on him.
Also, we
Thank-
might want to get back to that nest of scorpions and continue to placate them.
Thank her for her time. Let her know we'll be back if we decide on these, and
Yes.
then let's go talk to the orc.
all right. Thank you for the information. We'll consider this with the rest of our group.
Of course.
So go ahead and
Head over to the Wind Rider Master.
So you head over, walk across. It's basically across the central square is the two flight masters.
A slightly circuitous route. So does the ladder going from one to the other.
Yeah.
Just because.
I mean, hey, shop around.
Yeah. Being polite.
But
Garrick is nothing if not polite.
you make your way to Bullcrek Rage Fist.
Out of curiosity, do you stop by the rest of the group or not?
Well, we're gonna see what the cost of the Wind Riders are.
Because do consider that the troll will probably be at one of these stables with animals.
Do we see you at one of them?
I mean, there's a third stable that has more of the land mounts.
What are the land mounts there?
The Lazarus has the one that has wolves and raptors and stuff like that.
But I was there earlier.
Would you be hanging out with the Wind Riders?
Probably yeah, because I was fascinated by the wyverns. So probably.
So probably around where Bullcrek is at.
Wyverns.
Yeah. All right. So. Wow, that's very tall.
I am in communication with wyverns, and probably.
So,
I'm not sure if I'm an annoyance or a curiosity to the person who.
As we approach Rage Fist, I hope our ally isn't causing you any trouble, indicating to Jagatal.
The orc that you meet has sort of the mohawk that is common among orcish folks, and the twin long braids that sort of dangle down from the chin.
Out of curiosity, because I know some orcs do, does he maintain any clan symbolism?
Not that you can see.
Okay.
He's just wearing this sort of heavy leather harness.
He doesn't look like he just walked right out of the War Song recruitment poster like I did.
No, he's got like a riding harness designed to help attach you to a wind rider so you don't fall off as easily.
Okay.
He looks over. No, the troll is. He's quiet. Doesn't create too much of a trouble, and the wind riders don't seem to mind him.
Speaking of, how much do you charge for a Wind Rider?
Are you looking for rent or purchase?
Potentially either.
Well, it is no lean thing to own a wind rider, and in fact, they don't typically consider themselves owned in any manner. But you'd be looking at a fully trained wyvern as a companion is a steep price, typically running around the range of 1,000 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's often worth it if you intend to fly many places. But to rent, I would charge 5 gold per day you intend to be gone.
I know wyverns can speak, can't they?
Yeah, wyverns can speak.
Yeah.
So, well, wyverns are intelligent enough to understand and speak language. Not all of them know Orcish in common.
Do any of them speak Orcish?
The Packmaster does. He said, indicating the largest of the wyverns.
So the troll, while this is going on, has been talking to the wyverns. We have a very large fortress, right?
Yes.
How much roosting space would we have on top?
You've got a decent amount of upper parapet area that could be turned into stables for wyverns.
Looking around here, I'm just kind of, and I'm talking to them about trying to figure out what their expectations are, that sort of thing. I'm sizing up the top of our fortress as a
wyvern nest.
Yeah, but
I'm also trying to figure out how do you come to live here? Why do you do what these people tell you to do? Why do you put up with these weird people who put these weird leather things on your back?
Yeah, I mean, for me, animal handling.
As the Beastmaster does.
That's a natural 20.
Nice.
Okay.
Plus numbers.
What you basically learn from the wyverns that the wyverns have been friends of orcs and tauren for a long time. I want to say for at least
Third War.
well over 5 or 6 years now. And they have made good allies, and they carry the races that cannot fly on their backs in exchange for protection, for food, for care for their young, and the freedom to fly and hunt as they will without having to worry about being hunted by creatures such as harpies, which have preyed on wyverns for the longest time. So the flightless races help protect them from wyverns, help protect them from harpies, give them food and shelter, protect their young, and in exchange they fly them around and serve as war mounts if need be.
And how do they come to live at these stables where these people claim to own them?
I mean, they serve with Wind Rider Masters, and the young that are trained by the Rider Masters are sold basically only to those who can take care of them. It's a matter of not only does the Wind Rider Master have to approve of selling them to you, but the Wyvern themselves has to be willing to travel with the person. It's a lot harder to buy a Wyvern than it is to buy a Griffin, because Griffins are not nearly as intelligent.
I don't know. The one upstairs is pretty intelligent.
So, yes. So,
Austin's brain is beginning to fail. 404 brain not found.
So is it just a matter of, you find
Find 'em
basically
in the wild.
you find some. Are there wyverns around in the wild that people pick up, or is it more like someone's like, I want to be, a young wyvern is like, I want to move away from this pack, and they find someone who will set them up with a.
I mean, there are some wyvern roosts that are just out in the wild, but for the most part, most of the wyverns that serve in the Horde have been part of the Horde since they came to Kalimdor and first found the wyverns. The wyvern reached maturity in less than a year from being born. At least they reach enough maturity to carry a rider in less than a year.
Mm-hmm.
And so the amount of training and teaching that goes into that lasts a little bit longer, but it basically amounts to the wyvern hosts that have been part of the Horde. They occasionally find more whenever they need more wyverns. We'll make a pact with some of the wyverns that are still out in the wild. But for the most part, it's just that the wyverns that they initially found have just spread throughout the Horde.
In Zendali to leaf, not just and not assuming that the orc we're talking to doesn't necessarily speak Zendali, but to indicate to him that it's a side conversation. At the very least, to leaf and in Zendali. What do you think about acquiring a pair for the hull?
To keep there for any short distance travel we may need them.
And to form a nest. Let them roost there.
Well, I'm certain I know Jangatal's opinion of the idea.
I don't know. I don't clearly know his opinion. I'm certain he'd be helpful in the task and possibly look forward to it. But it would be a useful expense should we decide to extend the reach of our guild.
At this point, the troll has taken to watching what the Windmaster is doing and trying to do the things as well and be like, ooh, I need to learn this.
Yeah.
Not asking, just being like, so this is how this is done. I'm going to start doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Windmaster will do in response, but...
Roll me animal handling real quick, just to see how well you're doing it.
18.
Not bad. Yeah. He looks over at you, sees you're not bothering the Wind Riders, continues on his work. He's getting flavor out of it.
Outside of combat, can wyverns carry multiple riders?
Depending on the rider, they obviously can't carry 2 Tauren.
I mean, yes.
But like, if they're not burdened with armor and the riders aren't overburdened, then probably they can carry 2. It just depends on the riders.
Except for these two.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
these
those
two.
two would
These
be
two probably need a wyvern to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
At most, I think.
Shiana and I want to ride together.
At most,
I think you want to get thrown.
at most, Garrick could probably share
With the goblin,
with the goblin.
and that'd be pushing it.
Maybe
What we're
with
saying
Leaf.
is the Goblin and the Troll, and then Leaf and Shiana could probably pair up on a wyvern.
Yeah.
It's better than Shiana and the Goblin.
You would need 4 wyverns to carry the 6 of you.
I think Shiana probably just like in muscle mass probably approaches the limit on.
On
on
the
one
Goblin.
Actually, how heavy is Shiana?
That's up to Holly.
What?
How heavy is Shiana?
I thought we just
she's
covered this
missing
at
an
one
arm. I
point.
thought she was only like
Yeah.
180 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we determined
I
this
mean,
at
it
one
used to be
point.
200 when she had the other arm.
Yeah, I thought no. I think she's probably about 200.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Even
that
with
would
only 100.
200 pounds. 200 pounds of solid
Claw
muscle.
now.
put like 800, almost 900 pounds on a wyvern. So
Yeah.
if it was Garrett's 652, so. Garrick needs a strong wyvern, is what we're saying.
Eric and Brick will share.
That wyvern will never get off the ground.
Must fly.
But yeah, but like to Leaf about if we got a breeding a mated pair, then we would potentially be able to train more wyverns for the guild.
I will point out that the orc says in Zandali that training a wyvern from youth is a specialized task. You would want to recruit a wyvern master to do that for your guild.
I nod to him.
We can do that.
Like, again, like the switching to Zandali wasn't so that he wouldn't be able to listen in, but to indicate
That it was a separate
that
conversation.
it was a
Yeah.
separate conversation.
Yes, but he also don't care.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And he's just pointing out the potential problems of your plan.
Yeah,
Well, for now, it's just a matter of renting to get there and
Like,
back.
he's
so
clearly not
we can
opposed to
deal
you
with-
buying wyverns off of him. So
But we can do that kind of thing later, too.
That is a large expense.
something to keep in mind.
And if we do, it might perhaps be better to acquire them
Closer to.
closer
From
to
an
Overlord.
Orgrimmar seller, probably is.
It would be actually rather difficult to get them from here to there, seeing as we wouldn't all be able to ride on them.
No, fair.
Well,
Just wanted to make sure the idea was voiced while we were talking about it.
For now, though,
And then back in Orcish.
Yeah. Renting does seem like a good idea.
all right, how many wyverns do you need for how long?
4. 2 of them particularly sturdy. We'll be flying to Ungoro Crater and back.
You expect to stay there for more than a day?
Possibly.
So 3-4 days.
It may take us 2 to 3 days to find our quarry.
So it'll only take about a day to get to Ungoro from here on the back of a wyvern. So 6 days.
Look at Leaf.
Sounds good to me.
Yes.
4 wyverns at 5 gold each, 20 gold a day, 120 gold pieces for the entire trip.
I can do it.
If you take less than that, I will pay you the difference. If you take more than that, I will charge you the difference when you return.
I take money. And it leaves me at a nice round 1,000.
Yeah.
That's actually the only reason I paid for that, because you know what?
Casual ability to buy a wyvern prices over there.
I mean,
It's not
filthy
casual if
rich.
it takes your entire fortune.
10% of the entire
It'd
fortune.
be like saying, I have the casual ability to buy a used car. Yes, but I have to bank in all the money I have.
I mean, the reason it's casual is because you can do it without involving any other entities. Yes, it would still take all your money, but you could still do it casually.
Different definitions, casually.
And also, I have living expenses kind of
Oh, yeah.
dealt with because I live in the guild hall, so
I mean, we still have to pay for upkeep on the guild hall, but
We should probably figure out, an amount of money that goes to guild, like guild money
we're
that
gonna be
goes to
doing that
guild
within
expenses,
the- Like
rather
a-
than having a
it'd
guild.
be like a percentage of income sort of thing. Along guild members.
we'll figure that out when the renovations are done.
And when we have more than us as guild members.
Yes.
He sort of walks among the wyverns.
Let the NPCs do the pencil pushing.
We have to hire a pencil pusher, though.
Sort of,
We will.
there was a Forsaken.
Pretty much when we get back.
There was a Forsaken in the tavern.
I know. I was trying to get a hold of it, but
You didn't,
And by
you
get a
didn't
hold
bother
of
to get a
him, you mean-
conversation with him going.
By get a hold of him,
Sorry,
you mean
someone
get a
started
hold of
a
his
bar fight.
monocle and steal it.
I was trying to steal his monocle.
A bar fight broke out. It happens.
But he
A
walks.
bar fight occurred.
He sort of walks among the wyverns and talks with each of them and selects 4 that are willing to make the journey.
I will let him know that, in addition to me, there's also a Tarn.
He acknowledges. Selects 4 that are willing to make the journey and brings them over. All right, bring your companions.
Leaf, if you'll
I'll go
indicate
find them.
Jangatal. Actually, I'll go get them if you'll indicate, and then I indicate Jangatal.
Right.
I'll go get the others.
All right, so you head over.
And unsummon my wolf as I walk.
Yeah, so you walk back to the road warrior.
What would be a good name for a divinely inspired white wolf? Frostfang.
Sure,
Yeah. You want to head back?
that's not a frost wolf name at all.
Fine.
Snow song.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a frost wolf though. I'm a war song.
I know. That's why I was joking at you.
Yeah. Anyways.
Because Thrall's wolf is snow song.
Oh yeah. Anyways, head back to the inn. All right, everyone. We've rented wyverns to take us out to the Ungoro crater.
Okay.
We've got 4, which means that Brick and I will have to ride on one. Or sorry, Brick and I will have to ride on individual ones. Is what I tried to say, but my brain went, no, that works.
Just imagining the 2 of them getting onto a wyvern and it just like
It just
makes those
collapses.
squeaky toy noises.
Breaks in half.
Just that mental.
We'll have to ride individual ones.
I like the squeaky toy noises. It's just like
Shiona, would you mind riding with Leaf?
That's fine.
And Josh will get you on Jangatal and one other.
Okay. I'll try to think twice.
Very well. Let's head. If you've got all your gear, make sure you've got everything. Nothing's left behind. We'll head out. I don't know why I looked at you, but it felt appropriate.
Okay, we go.
All right.
So we get over there.
he was just wondering if you wanted any drinks to go.
Drinking and riding, not
It
suggested.
doesn't matter.
Especially when said riding occurs
In the
thousands of feet off the ground.
Yeah,
Why is that so high?
because we're flying.
Oh, yeah, but we can fly low.
We're not on an airship though,
Yes.
so we're good.
We could,
Yes.
More faith in a living creature than a giant.
Yeah.
if we manage to get shot down again, I will have to put a veto on any
I'm
travel
sick,
ever
I'm sick.
again.
Travel by flight at the very least. We'll need to have Josh build us a giant subterranean drill to get everywhere we need to go.
Subterranean and submarine. Marin.
Submarine.
Meridian.
Submarine. A submarine.
There you go. That's the word. I'm trying to figure out what subterranean, but for water, and it would just be submarine.
Before we go, I would like to apologize for my actions.
Oh, well.
People need to apologize.
I would say there is.
If you feel the need to apologize, you may.
She just did.
Yes, if that was
He wants to do it again.
No, that's not.
Okay.
He wants to do what again?
They accept your apology. This thing, there's no need to apologize because it's okay. You didn't do anything.
Just got a little drunk.
Just got a little drunk. That's fine.
It happens.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Garrick has gotten drunk. It took a lot. A lot.
Yeah, Garrick gotten drunk before.
Yeah, I'm sure at that point it's just measured in kegs.
Of course. At the point where Garrick got drunk, he was literally a child soldier. So.
Okay, so we mount up and leave, huh?
But yes, I accept your apology. I think it's all needed.
She still can't look him in the eye, by the way.
I mean, he is really big.
Wait a minute, how tall are you?
What's
You're
average
9.
orc
She's
height?
like 6'2" something.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
9.
she's 6 something.
And I'm 8'6".
You gonna put
I
that
think
here?
I think she's like Austin's actual height. I think I said she was 6'6".
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's 6, and he's 8'6".
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. 'Cause you have 2 feet on you. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Just 2 feet.
I can't even see you.
You come up to like you go to my shin. You're like, you're able to hide underneath my knee
If I
plate.
reach up, I can hit your knee.
Yeah.
So basically, he doesn't associate you with a face. He just associates you with your knee pads.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much. Oh, I know these knee pads.
I
I mark them with smiley faces on the side, so I can tell when we're in battle who you are.
I recognize these knees anywhere.
You get a little smiley face crawled on the outside of your knee
Somebody's
pads.
like dying on the ground. Like, that's weird.
So,
And
the
then
group,
another
the group of you mount up, I'm assuming.
Okay, I'll let him fly, drive, whatever.
I think the wyvern drives.
Yeah, I know, but
Essentially.
I tell the wyvern that I would like to go a place, and the wyvern kindly obliges me.
Do we have a wyvern that speaks? Or did we? Or no?
Not with you.
No.
The Packmaster
I
is
speak
staying.
wyvern.
Yes.
I mean, they understand you. They don't speak the language.
Yeah.
Unless the wyverns speak Pennsylvania Dutch. No, Snackren doesn't speak wyvern.
Pennsylvania Dutch, secretly the language of wyverns.
Pennsylvania Dutch.
Yeah, Snakeford apparently speaks it.
So
What was the other language?
before mounting, I will
Latin.
before mounting, I will. Thank you for your service. And I'll climb up,
It sort of gives you a shake of the head. And
and then a grunt as I get on.
so,
Like I said, little squeaky toy noise.
No, that would be if he and Fred
If
got
it
on
is.
one. It'd be dead.
so
Crushed to death.
you take wing, and the wyverns kick up into the sky, and you are soon swiftly soaring over the deserts of Tanaris. As the wind brushes past your hair, it's about a day's flight to get to Angoro Crater. As you pass swiftly over the ground, eventually you begin to see the massive.
There's a time and a place, Austin.
Yes, right
It's
now,
obviously
right
now.
here.
It's arts and crafts.
The sort of the mountain wall that forms the outer ring of Angoro Crater begin to loom up on the horizon as you approach.
Slide back a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Just gonna.
As Austin,
For a moment.
as Austin wields sharp objects.
I would, if
Okay.
the objective was sharper, it wouldn't have taken me this long.
So the it's approaching. It's been a little bit past sundown when you finally crest the mountain walls of Angoro Crater, and almost immediately there's a biome shift. It's dramatic. Like you would normally expect sort of the inverse of the way that a rain shadow works. You would normally expect that the mountains would block off any rain going into the crater, but it's actually the reverse. Immediately after you pass over the mountains, the land below you just turns green, and there are times when you can't see the ground through the canopy of trees.
Man, this climatology class I took really was worthless.
What?
Does it seem natural? I've got nature.
Nature, yeah.
Leaf muttering to himself
Yeah.
when no one can hear.
11.
It's not
Wait, aren't we on the same
normal.
one? I can hear you.
It's not impossible,
Which are these giant beating
Magic.
wings on the other side.
but
Okay. So, even
Some
knowing
couple
nature,
ones.
I wouldn't expect this.
no, you would not expect this to form naturally.
Okay.
So if I pushed you off.
He is harnessed in. You'd have to unbuckle the harness.
Does she actually say that?
Oh no. If she does, it's only Jen.
She does, but you can't hear it again because of the giant wings beating on either
No,
side.
the only person she would actually like throw off would be the goblin.
Also, the fact that you're flying at like 30 miles an hour.
Goblin is
But
also
when-
probably the only one that would survive.
pushed you,
The troll might.
No, I'm.
She wouldn't push the troll off.
Oh yeah, I guess you could just tank the fall damage.
No, the
Fall
only
damage
person
caps
shoots
out
a
at
shot.
10d6, so I can't die from a fall. No, 20d6. Sorry. So I can only technically die from a fall if it's like all maxed.
If the GM is using the rules as writ fall damage.
If you're high enough up, I feel like you could die.
You know,
Terminal
You
velocity.
could. I mean, you
Terminal velocity. People have
And it
survived.
depends on where you land too, what kind of
Yeah.
ground and how you land. There are some people that have actually
Survive the terminal velocity fall. Yeah.
very
carefully.
The chute's not opening, and they're hitting like soft enough ground that it's like kind of muddy and bounce and break a few bones, but actually survive.
Or a lot of bones.
Well,
Several bones.
depends.
Require immediate hospital
If
attention.
the ground gives.
They start making
There's
death
a number
saving
of-
throws.
I mean, I feel like if you fall out of an airplane without a parachute, but you still survive, I think you'd call that breaking only a few bones. It's breaking a lot if you die.
Well,
You can die without breaking a single bone.
yeah,
Yeah, breaking
yes.
bones isn't a requirement for death.
right. But I
When
mean,
falling
know.
from an airplane, I think if you only break like both your legs completely, I'd consider that a pretty good
You could fall out of an airplane and not
So-
break any bones and still die.
So anyway,
Right.
we're flying.
So yes, you're flying.
Impale on a tree.
We're in
Break
the
your rib
sky.
cage.
well, you could, yeah,
And or
you-
your
you-
spine.
you would break a
You
lot.
hit right here and go through that way. Just go through your gut and not hit your spine or bones at all.
That would hit your spine.
You can, a tree can also slow you down.
The side, not back. Anyways.
Anyway.
that was the first.
Yes, you are over
No,
Ungoro
I
Crater.
know a lot of different
Yeah.
specific stories,
You are over Ungoro Crater,
which I'm not getting into right now.
and the one thing that stands out from the canopy of trees is the volcano dead center in the crater.
Not going there.
Why not?
Were we giving any?
It's
Were
a
we given
power.
any clues as to where in the crater Rexar might be?
It just looked like Ungoro Crater as far as you know.
I'm going to ask my wyvern to fly around looking for any sign of a camp that we might be able to see.
Rexar's he's a hunter, right? He's familiar with nature. He knows.
Yes.
So-
Yes.
I'm gonna.
He's also a half ogre.
I am going to, while we're flying over, look for places that would be a convenient but hidden shelter that somebody who is trained in the art of hunting and survival would utilize, especially of that size.
I'm also going to keep my detect magic on pretty much this whole time, and I'm going to see if I know it doesn't have enough range to actually look at the terrain, but if I can just tell some kind of a shift in the air around me, if there's any possible activity of, say, druidic or ranger magic.
So, you ask your wyvern to look around. It's hard to detect magic from up here. You're not picking up anything immediately.
Really, I'm just looking in the air just in case someone cast a big wide area.
Yeah, if someone casts like control weather, you would notice probably. But as you look around, the wyvern looks around. Not bad. The wyverns sort of begin to skirt low as you request that of them, and they start moving among the canopy. They've got a decent amount of aerial acrobatic agility, so they manage to avoid crashing into trees as they look around. Eventually, they start skirting around the outer edges of the crater, sort of looking for cave systems or lean-tos that would be a decent shelter for someone that large. Just go ahead and roll your perception checks, everybody.
Something I can't really do.
Natural 20.
I
That's a
perceive.
20.
Did you percept?
24.
19.
21.
Natural 20 makes it a 20.
Okay, so 20,
20.
24,
21.
21,
I managed to get the lowest at 17.
17, and you got 19. So eventually, as you're looking around, you notice the glow of a fire from just inside one of the caves on the edge of that's carved out of the edges of these mountain ranges. As you look around,
I would indicate there for my wyvern.
and as the wyverns slow down and begin to pull in for a landing nearby, with all of your very high perception rolls, you begin to hear the sound of conversation and laughter from within the cave.
Can I tell what kind of conversation? Like language?
The kind that includes laughing. You can't really make out words yet.
Okay. We don't have any ability to magically talk to each other while we're on Wyvern Bat, so.
Message.
He does.
Fell. But
You can have a one-way conversation.
It's two-way.
That's right.
Yeah, you
It's
can
two-way,
go
but
That's
it
right.
has to be one of the
one.
two.
You can respond to this
Yeah.
message. That's right.
But I have to start it and pick out a person. And I really don't care. I'm just landing.
Yeah, so you guys land.
I guess.
Not land and be the first one off, or be off at least.
Now landing.
We've found something.
Can I hear a little bit better now that we've landed?
A little bit, but you still can't make out language. You just know the conversation is nowhere near hostile. They're having a good time.
I'm
there.
heading
I'm going
towards
to
that
stealth
conversation.
over there.
I'm not.
Even with specifically the linguist feat?
Yeah.
I'm gonna super stealth over there. It's like stealthing, but you add a cape.
That makes it less stealthy.
Those who would like to roll stealth can do so.
No, but people who
stealthy cape.
stealth with capes are super stealthy.
Sounds like a cape happening.
Oops. 18.
27.
Wait, what's being rolled? Stealth?
If you
No.
want to
Yeah,
stealth.
I should stay
I'm
back.
not stealthing.
Just stay back.
21.
21.
I'm just walking.
Yeah, I'm walking with Garrick. We are.
Yeah, me too.
You're the only person in the party less stealthy than me. Because yeah, I just have a flat
So-
zero.
so we go
dex.
ahead.
I also have a flat 0.
And you have, heavy armor.
I also have a armor, which means I roll disadvantage.
So, as the two of you pull ahead with your very high stealth rolls,
Is Rick stealthing or walking with us?
I said no.
Okay.
I was gonna walk with you too.
as you begin to make your way closer, as you get within like 60-ish feet of the mouth of the cave, you begin to be able to distinguish language, and you can tell that these are two conversations that are happening in Orcish. One of the people has a significant accent to their Orcish, like it's definitely not anywhere near their native tongue.
Can I tell from... Oh, sorry, that's them.
But when we show up,
And
Well,
as-
they're stealth ahead at the moment.
and it takes. Do you want to keep going? You want to keep going in, or you want to wait for the rest of the group to catch up?
I'm gonna keep going in.
Okay. So you head on. Jangatal, are you waiting, or are you continuing to follow after?
Shiana goes in, I'll go in.
So the two of you start to make your way towards the mouth of the cave. As the rest of you catch up, you begin to hear and make out. Yeah, there's two people having a conversation in Orcish. One of them has a significant accent.
with the linguist feat, can I pick out what that accent is?
Roll me history.
Can I pick up the accent?
You can also roll me history. You will have a much harder time with this.
4.
Nope.
That's only a 13.
It's not It's not an accent that comes from a language you've ever heard before.
Huh.
What Loktar is just greeting, or was it?
Loktar is a greeting. Also Thrall Hall. Also Throm Ka.
I'm trying to figure out which one is the more appropriate one for an unknown voice speaking Orcish in a cave.
Throm Ka is the usual non-battle greeting. Loktar Ogar is like you're meeting a soldier on the
On the
battlefield.
battle, that's right. So as while walking up, from Ka.
You hear the voice. You hear the conversation stop, and you hear a deep, rumbling voice sort of call out, "Throm Ka, who approaches the campsite?"
Garrick Cloudspeaker, accompanied by Leaf Ironmender and Brick Earth Whisperer. I think I got your last names right.
Yeah.
Are you servants of the Horde?
We are.
Then you are welcome to share our fire.
We come seeking Rexar, champion of the Horde.
And at this point, the group of you have caught up to where they're at, as they're sort of positioned outside the cave. And as you step in, the voice calls out, "Then you have found him." And you gaze in, and you see there are two figures sitting around this fire. The first that you notice, because he's big, is the one speaking, who has to be Rexar. He is this
I've probably met Rexar before.
probably at least once.
Yeah.
This massive. There is no other way to describe this man than like a truck walking on 2 feet.
Makes me look small.
He legitimately makes Garrick look small. He is enormous. He is probably 2 of Garrick wide, honestly. And is made of raw muscle, wearing this sort of bear pelt over his head as a hood, with this massive fur cloak and heavy spiked shoulders. This leather and fur armor that is adorned in various locations: belt, gloves, bracers, boots, a heavy serrated axe at his side, and a bear sort of laying on the ground next to him, half asleep. The other person that you notice is a confusing sight, because none of you have seen this individual or anyone that looks like him before. He is wearing the sort of very well fit, but definitely seen a lot of travel, tailored sort of black and white cloth garments, wearing a long, wide-brimmed sedge hat made of bamboo and fur-lined, with a metal cap on the lid. The thing that stands out, he looks almost like a furbolg, like the bear folk of the northern forest, but his fur is black with white accents. And his eyes are a solid jade green. And he has this staff sitting next to him that is covered in bottles, and a keg sitting on the ground next to him that has the adornment of a face that looks similar to his own in artistic style.
It's Chen Stormstout.
As the two of them were looked to have been in the middle of conversation, this bear man and this half ogre.
This bear man and this man bear.
As the group looks over at the two of them. I am Rexar, champion of the Horde, as you know me. And this is my companion, Chen Stormstout of the Pandaren.
I know that they've stealthed.
I'm not going to come in. I mean, I don't want to be underfoot.
Yeah.
At this juncture,
I
if all is good, I'll walk out.
Yeah, I will indicate to them when if they step out of stealth. We are also accompanied by Jaggerfall Wildwalker and Shiona Flame Carver.
It is good to meet new companions on the road, the Pandaren says, in that strange sort of faintly melodic accent that affects his Orcish.
I'm sorry, and you are?
I am Chen Stormstout of the Wandering Isle.
Greetings.
Has my character heard of that?
Roll me history.
Probably not.
Oh, on that kind of a roll, on a 22.
There are legends of a group of monastic folk who live on an island that moves. There's not a lot of stories about it, but the bear men known as Pandaren are supposedly, a number of them come from this wandering island.
I just sort of look over. I didn't know it was real.
It is very real. Shenzhen Su is a wonderful companion, though not incredibly talkative.
Garrick has no idea what he's talking about. Turns at Rexar. We come bearing a missive from Vol'jin.
I produced the letter.
What has my old friend brought to me today? He says as he extends his hand to take the letter. With these sort of like giant meaty fingers, just kind of brings one around and with a clawed nail just kind of slices open the letter and pulls it out. And kind of starts to read over it.
That's why, like you're trying to read a really tiny letter.
Yeah, he just with 2 fingers just kind of flips it open and holds it between 2 fingers and kind of reads it up and down. The situation has grown more dire than I thought. Perhaps I will have to act soon, he says as he folds the letter up and throws it into the fire.
Was there any indication as to whether or not we had to do anything other than deliver the letters previously?
Nope, that's it.
We were told by Vol'jin to deliver the letters.
Well, then our
And then
task will be
report
done.
back to him, ideally.
Are you returning with us to Orgrimmar?
No, I will take the long way. Tell Vol'jin that I and Master Stormstout will likely be joining to speak with him as soon as we arrive. We have some business to wrap up here first.
Do you require any assistance with that?
Chen kind of looks over at Rexar. Rexar looks at him. Well, if you would like to not Spanish accent. What am I doing?
It's Alexander.
If you would like to assist, we will not turn you away, but it is not necessary. We will be able to handle this on our own. If you would like to get back and receive your pay as soon as possible.
I look at the others.
It may be best
We need to
to
say-
not wear too heavily on the rent that we have. I say, pointing back towards the entrance and the
Fair enough.
entrance.
It is dark, if you would like to share our fire for the evening.
That would probably be best, both for ourselves and for our likely quite weary mounts.
Come, you can join us and partake in the new brew that I have been perfecting, he says as he indicates the keg sitting next to him.
Yay!
Here we go again.
I think I'll pass tonight.
At that point, I'll go in. I'll try to pour her a drink.
You want to be in the drink?
I see our goblin has joined us. This is Josh.
It is excellent to meet all of you, as he sort of turns the keg onto its side and taps it. I call this one the journey into the crater, he says as he begins to pour. Made from ingredients that I gathered from here in Ungoro.
Is that a explanatory name or a prophetic name?
Thankfully, well, if it was sold by a goblin, I would be very worried, but
I think you will find it delicious, and I think it should speak of the place in which we currently reside.
I will have some.
I'll try some. Why
Yeah,
not?
I am happy.
You know what?
Try some.
I'll try the first sip. Why not?
I would like to try some as well.
I'm not sipping.
I
you know
will
what?
try one.
As you wish.
What smell exudes as he pours this?
Herbal scents, definitely. You get the scent of some berries, some herbs,
Troll's not interested.
Tink.
and he pours out some.
If we're staying with this hard, the troll's going to be cooking, so I'm going to roll cooking.
Go for it. He grabs these. He pulls off of his belt these like small dish-like cups, and sort of pours a small increment in each of them and hands each of them off.
I don't have a leftover.
And he offers his own to toast to the group and drinks it down. It's not like a drink you've ever had before, and it's interesting.
Have you ever had sake, William?
I have not.
Oh, it's good. It's sake goes down ridiculously smooth.
I would, if I had to take a guess based on the ingredients that he's found to brew this, it probably would sort of be like a berry sake with a number of herbal touches to it. It's sort of like if you were to blend like an herbal tea with a berry sake.
Sake has like the potency of a really hard alcohol, but with none of the hit.
Yeah.
So like you expect the burn, but it doesn't burn. It's sort of like it's just like this very warm drink that goes down if you drink hot sake.
And then you stand up
and
and you
then
go back down.
And then it just sort of warms you up internally. It's like something that's a fire in your belly. It's really great.
Except for you, apparently, because I remember that time that we were out
Yeah.
and you drank an entire
Yeah.
bottle of sake and were completely unaffected.
No, I wasn't. I didn't drive. Remember, I gave you.
Yeah, no.
You
didn't drive.
It doesn't.
I'll let Taylor
You didn't
drive.
drive.
It's not.
No.
It's not particularly.
No,
potent.
I walked. I felt it.
Yeah, no. You
You may have felt
You
it,
were different.
You didn't look it.
It's not
Anyway.
like it's not super. It's not going to get you like hammered like whiskey does if you drink the same volume, but it's
It's stronger than it
It's
tastes.
stronger than it tastes,
Yeah.
and it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It goes down like
Nothing. It's
like
great.
Kool-Aid, yeah.
it definitely what he gives you is definitely a taste that evokes
I love it.
a journey. It is something that brings to your palate the idea of being lost in a place of beauty and wilderness. And it's spectacular that someone can mix these sensations into a drink. It's this sensation of discovery and wonderment, along with just the faintest hint of danger to keep things interesting, all distilled down into a drink.
Is there any magic in this at all?
Not any that would show up to detect magic.
Interesting.
We'll figure that out later.
I got a 22 on my cooking check.
Cool.
Yeah.
What would you like to cook?
What's around? What is native to this place?
You can probably find some large lizards.
And there's lots of plant life around here, right?
Yeah.
So we're definitely getting some very floral, large leaves, wrapping the lizards up in them and cooking them in a pouch that's very moist, along with a variety of roots and barks to give it to enhance the earthiness of it, and then get leaves that are more citrusy to help cut the heaviness.
Yeah. And you find that it actually pairs surprisingly well with the alcohol.
So the troll, the troll pulls after you've been taking control. The troll pulls out giant leaf pouches that are full of lizard.
I mean, the drink was made to be evocative of the land, and this is just
Food from the land.
So, out of curiosity, because I cook for everyone, how do the panda and the half ogre take to being handed leaves full of lizard?
They both look at it with interest. As soon as the Pandaren unfolds it, this looks interesting, and he starts to immediately take into it. And
Chen is a wandering culinarian monk.
Well, on a 22,
yeah, and
it could be very interesting.
he takes a bite and you have done with this food what I have done with my drink. And he sort of starts to dig into the lizard.
You didn't take the bones out, did you? So it's crunchy.
Well, presumably you do it like a rotisserie chicken.
Right.
Yeah, you
just
eat
go
around
around
the
the
bones.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, but if it's a small lizard, you just...
Oh no, these
I
are
mean,
small
the
lizards.
small
goblin
lizards.
goblin eats the bones.
I would like you to think of a monitor lizard.
Yeah, these are chicken-sized lizards.
Oh, okay, all right. 'Cause I was thinking...
That wouldn't stop the goblin from eating the bones, though.
Tastes like chicken.
Goblins eat bones.
Also, recognizing the size.
Goblins eat lots of things.
Yes.
There's very little the goblins don't eat,
Yeah.
including
Well,
oil and
Arizona,
minerals.
they find,
So
You know,
they're like
they're
the
doing
goats
their
of the
digs.
civilized world.
Yeah.
they find chunks of small bone in the poo.
And in order
Because
to
of
make this, a more
people just
nutritionally
eating,
complete meal,
the
as
small
they're doing
lizards, they just
that,
eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to find a variety of root vegetables and then pour out the fats that were rendered out of the lizards and fry a bunch of roots and root vegetables in the seasoned lizard fat.
You're making me hungry.
I know, me
I've
too.
been-
It's really weak.
I've been hungry for a while, so it's not.
And so
Not
we
new.
follow it up with
Root chips.
with like a root vegetable stew that's very, very hearty and filling
Yeah,
and
and
full
so
of nutrients.
you are treated to a surprisingly rustic and authentic full-course meal with drinks that evokes the land that you are currently residing in.
It's because
You
it's
have-
made of the land that we are currently.
You have just had the taste of Ungoro.
How strong is the alcohol? By the way?
It's relatively strong, but it's deceptive. It doesn't feel as strong as it is.
Oh no.
So
No,
63%.
chill. She knows her limit.
63 proof.
Does she?
She does. She went past it last time.
But it is delicious. And
She'll probably have like 2 months full of them.
I try to lay off.
Yeah.
I try to give her another one. I try to offer another one.
Do you wish to make it through the night?
Help me make it through the night. I go to sleep.
And as the
I'll drink as much as provided.
yeah, and he's got a keg full.
Yeah.
So
Well, between Rexar, the Pandaren, and the 600-pound orc, we will empty the keg. Whether or not anybody else helps is up to you guys.
I mean,
I'm
I am.
not going to go as long as the three of you, but
I'm less than 1/3 your way, and not particularly used to drinking in the slightest.
She wants
So-
to so badly.
so, and the group it's
Garrett gives her one. She'll take it.
it's a surprisingly merry night.
When do we have to make Constitution saves?
Go ahead. Why not?
Do I get an advantage for being? Do I get an advantage for being 600 pounds?
Not for this kind of alcohol.
All right.
I
think you're good.
That's a 20.
You get a +2 to it as well for being next to
22.
me. So that's 22 for me as well.
So the two of you hold your alcohol fairly well. None of you can drink as much as Chen can. Just accept it.
I mean, why is that? We're emptying that barrel.
If she goes on her fourth drink, I'm gonna cast Mage Hand next to her, so it's like she's using both hands to drink.
Okay, good. I thought you said you were going to cast Hex to give her a disadvantage on.
Hex doesn't affect saves.
No, I didn't
No,
do
I
that.
thought you were
I thought
going
I
to
did.
No,
Cripples ability checks.
Hex affects ability checks.
I think ability
I want
checks.
her
Yeah.
Which is why it's really good if you're trying to grapple somebody. It's also really good if you're trying to intimidate or persuade somebody.
Or deceive them.
Or deceive
Because it
somebody.
affects their insight if you choose wisdom.
It depends on how many
Or
Garrett's
sneak past
having,
them.
I think. She'll probably try
Because
to.
it affects their perception
Try to
if you
match
choose their
Garrett.
wisdom.
Yeah, try to
That's
match
true.
you.
Garrett continues to drink.
Alright.
We're drinking all night.
Alright.
The-
And the two of you have a surprisingly similar tolerance despite having
Despite the
several
size
hundred
difference,
pounds
yeah.
difference. Yeah.
Orcs drink and fight. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They're Vikings.
They are very Viking.
They're very Viking.
They're very Viking and very Mongol and very Native American. If you had to pick three cultures to mash together and make Warcraft orcs, you take Vikings, Mongols, and Native Americans and cram them together.
In a very weird way.
And so you guys drink and chat and have wonderful conversation through the night, and eventually the conversation sort of steers to the eventually Chen mentions, it would be glorious to return again to the Wandering Isle with the companions that I have met on this lengthy journey. I think travelers like you might enjoy the Isle. It is a beautiful place of nature and prosperity for those who traveled far, who wish to wander beyond the bounds of Pandaria.
Where is
Sounds fun.
Pandaria?
Pandaria is the homeland of we Pandaren, hidden away long ago by enshrouding mists to keep it safe for the rest of the world. Those of us who live on the Wandering Isle have not seen our homeland. We do not even know where it is. The mists hide it even from us. I hope one day to see Pandaria again, but it seems unlikely.
That tale reminds me of the Orcish homeland of Draenor.
I have heard much of this place. Rexar has visited, though it is not as it was, I am told. He looks over at Rexar, who nods.
Do I know about? I assume we do know about the dark portal reopening.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd heard the dark portal had been reopened, so I have not been in that area or had gone back. I have not been there for the first time either. I was born in Azeroth,
Mm.
in the internment camps after the Second War.
I returned to Outland and encountered my father and the rest of the Moknathal. Those that remain. It was not a pleasant meeting, but resolution was had.
How fares Draenor?
It is known as Outland now, and the land is shattered. The dark magics that the shaman, later warlock, Ner'zhul, weaved to open portals to bring the horde that was driven back from Azeroth to other worlds tore Draenor apart. It is now a shattered place. Islands that float in the twisting nether. The oceans have gone. The only place that remains remotely as it was is Nagrand. Sorry, that's me being sick.
As William's throat rebels.
It is from that place that your war chief comes.
That's right. Garrosh is a Meglar.
Yep.
Well, I guess in this case, the difference between between the Pandaria and Outland is that Pandaria is a place you wish to return to, whereas Outland I don't think would survive our return.
It is hardly surviving now, as far as I have been told, he says, looking over at Rexar. Indeed. The place is broken and falling apart. Even Nagrand is only an illusion of peace. It is disheartening. But such is the way of the future. Nothing ever remains as it was.
Well, to change then.
To change. And he raises his mug again.
We're all
Drinking more.
toast to that.
As we continue to get drunk.
You all have a night. You get a long rest in. In the morning, Rexar and Chen begin to pack up their camp.
Soaring Fang! Are we prepared to return to Orgrimmar?
I believe we are.
We must go.
Well, first you have to return to Guided Zone.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, we have to go by way of how we got here, pretty much.
Actually, how many days would it take to fly from Gadgets into Orgrimmar?
More than you paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because we'll have to talk to the Wyvern Master, but they can get their way back. They can make their way back if we fly them
They're
back.
smart enough to fly back, yes.
Let's return to Gadget Zan. Rent out our wyverns for the amount of time it would take us to get to Orgrimmar, and head back. Unless in the time it's taken us for us to get here, someone has learned how to wield teleportation magics.
Not quite.
As I Shiana looks at Rick.
Well, I do, but it wouldn't get us very far.
To Gadget Zan then. Where we'll hopefully avoid another bar fight.
It takes another day. You arrive after nightfall again,
It's alright.
but you do eventually return to Gadget Zone.
Okay.
So yeah, return to Gadget Zan. Work out how much it'll cost for us to get on top of what we've already paid. Because we overpaid for the amount of time we did.
You only spent
120.
This is the third day of our 5 days we've paid.
yeah, so you've been 3 days, so you give you back the 40 for the remaining 2.
I'll hold on to it depending on how long it'll take to get to Orgrimmar.
It would probably take
Because we gotta go. We basically have to go over the 1,000 Needles and then up the Barrens.
Well, how many days did it take to get up here?
it'd probably be a 6-day flight.
We didn't take as much. We
Yeah, we took a long time to get up there.
we teleported.
Yeah, we took. Yeah, teleported most of the way, right?
Though we could probably fly to Theramore and teleport to Orgrimmar from there if there are mages there that could teleport us to Orgrimmar.
Because that wouldn't be that bad, maybe.
Would that be a thing we could do?
Possibly.
Might be more expensive. I don't know.
At the very least, she could get you close to, if you asked Jaina Proudmoore again, she could probably get you closer to Orgrimmar.
Or just fly to Orgrimmar. How much would it cost for us to fly to Orgrimmar?
6 days at 20 gold for the 4 wyverns. It'd be 60 times 2, 120 gold.
Less than the 40 that we've already paid.
Yeah, so that'd be 80.
I'll pay 80 gold for us to fly back to Orgrimmar. Sound good?
I guess, yeah.
Sure.
80 gold, fly back to Orgrimmar. Hit that time to go to the bathroom while we wait for our wyverns to fly us all the way up there.
So, a little under a week passes of regular flight and taking occasional breaks to rest for the evening.
Where'd that pencil go?
Oh,
Are there any conversations or moments of note that need to happen over the course of your flight back to Orgrimmar?
We stop how many times?
a number of
5 times, presumably.
Stop 5
for the
times.
night.
So
I don't know. Should make stuff.
we have 5
Because
nights worth
primarily
of
moving through
crafting.
the desert over 1,000 Needles.
You'd actually be moving straight up through Dustwallow Marsh, and then you go up from Tanaris. You crest over 1,000 Needles. You don't go all the way along because 1,000 Needles is horizontal more than it is vertical on that map.
Mhm.
And then you hit Dustwallow Marsh, travel up, and then you cross a little bit over the Barrens, and then into Duratar to hit Orgrimmar.
Yeah.
Actually,
Stop to cuss out Baron's chat.
Actually, while we're stopping in the Barrens, I would like to see if I can find some of those mosses.
Sure.
That I had mentioned a while ago.
because also, if we want to report directly back to,
You could also, yes, you could fly straight to the Echo Isles. if you
yeah,
wanted
go
to.
straight to the Echo Isles, talk to Vol'jin.
So you could also, as he mentioned, go straight to
Because I
the.
don't have any coffee.
You could also go to the Echo Isles, as he mentioned, to report directly to Vol'jin.
Oh, is Vol'jin at the Echo Isles on Orgrimmar?
Yeah.
Then probably that. Stop at the Echo
Do
Isles
that,
and then
yeah.
fly back to Orgrimmar.
That'd be
Or stop at the Echo Isles and just send it. It was roughly the same amount of time.
Roughly, yeah. You'd be in the middle of the day rather than at the end of the day when you reach the Echo Isles.
Yeah, so we'll fly to the Echo Isles instead of Orgrimmar, which would still require us to loop around the Barrens, I think. But
Same general idea, but just
Yeah.
stopping there first.
yeah.
So while you're in the Barrens looking for mosses, go ahead and roll me survival.
All right.
Yuck.
What you got?
9.
You can find some, not a lot. You find a
Okay.
little bit more. Anything else that needs to happen over the course of those days?
20.
I presume they craft.
I kind of don't really know a whole lot of things to make right now.
No, I was thinking I should make like a scorpions or something. Some kind of start working on some siege weapons for the fort.
Those are going to be hard to transport on these wyverns.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've got
Yeah, a project that large would require you to have something to carry it
something-
with.
Right, yeah. I'll just I got nothing going on.
Actually, I'm going to start experimenting because I had a little idea for like possibly making a techno magic holographic display for the big war table thing that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to just start experimenting along those lines.
All right. What are you thinking of? You thinking like a minor illusion style?
Because I don't have access to minor illusion, possibly something to do with eternal flame and being able to modify and shape that. So basically, there would be sort of heatless flaming constructs.
So you're thinking like a war table, but instead of tokens on the war table, you have small flames.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you could also move them around to like possibly project larger things if you haven't fine enough control of the device.
Interesting.
What are you making?
Something to make the war table look super amazing awesome.
We have a war table?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we're going to have a
Yeah.
war table.
It got moved in just as we left. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Vol'jin's paying for some
Upgrades.
Okay. We're getting a war table.
some renovations.
Yeah, we've got the war table moved in already.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
at the top room. And
Oh, by the way, Garrick helped Shiana break down a wall so she can have the biggest room.
Okay.
I figured that would be your response.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
So she has 2 rooms.
Just
And
do
everyone
more
else.
leaf.
So what,
You were taking the bricks and using them for another purpose. You know what?
yeah, there were eight rooms in the
So
Because
third floor,
Leaf said
and
like
we
he
each
gets
have
the
one, and
biggest
there's one
room.
empty.
so your room has 2 entrances.
Yes.
So,
I have no idea what the size of my room is relative to everyone else's.
Everybody's
All the
I
other
think
ones
they're
are
all
the
the same. That's why she had to do that.
I'm the only special one.
Okay,
yeah, they're all about like 20 by 20 rooms.
so not very big for me.
No.
Yes.
But they're basically just
Shit
officers'
from out in
quarters.
my ear.
No, it's like one of those Morocco eggs that they always have at like small churches.
But-
there's always somebody who sings in a mic with a Morocco egg, and I've yet to figure out why it's a small church thing.
So, as
Tell me I'm wrong.
Austin's brain is beginning to shut down furniture.
as you,
Please, he's just getting more efficient at derailing us.
it's about midday on the 6th day when you arrive at the Echo Isles, and as your wyverns pull down, you notice something odd that you didn't know about when you before you came here. As you look around, you see the Echo Isles are sort of tropical jungle isle, which is impressive considering how it's off the coast of Durotar, but perhaps being off the coast helps it grow a little bit more green life. But aside from the troll structures that have been built on the isle and the number of trolls that are living and moving about their day, the thing that catches your attention is the number of large, lumbering orcish forms. There are a number of orcs on this island, each of them wearing the black and gold armor of the Korkron, the elite guard, and they seem to be standing about in guard positions that do not look as if they are looking favorably upon the population of the island. If you had to guess, you would say that the Echo Isles are under some form of martial law. The Korkron are watching over the island as if they were being looked at with suspicion.
To clarify, which set of islands is my mother from?
You don't know where your mother's from.
Okay, so just so many trolls living on islands must be the worst. Seems fair.
Backstory?
I mean, not that we'll ever get it yet because it doesn't talk.
I mean,
Yeah.
we'll get it when we find out how many people he's killed in his past.
He's passive. Well, Austin is. I don't know.
No.
No.
Anyway.
Dragon's is simply not a pacifist.
Yeah, Troll's not a pacifist. He's a cannibal. It's
There's
very
a
difficult to
difference.
be
He's a
a pacifist and a
cannibal.
Well, no, it's just all of your food was humanely killed and was was a free range.
So basically what we're saying
Free range
is
humanoids.
Okay,
don't
so
trust
we're
a
looking
restaurant that
free-
gets set up next to a graveyard.
Free range humanely killed cannibalism. You know. So.
Now
So-
I'm just imagining a cannibal, but like, all trendy hipster.
Yeah, exactly. Like with the beard and everything.
So are we still landing here, or are we gonna?
So-
Yeah, no, we're landing.
As you
This might
looking
not
for-
be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the best.
It's hard to come in for a landing and then stop.
Oops, sorry.
Well,
wrong
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come to the Echo Isles. This is not my.
What are they? As we make a
But as you get
Pass.
close and you see that, you can decide whether you want to land here or try and land somewhere further
Hold
out.
up.
I use a message to
halt-
say, yeah, why don't we
halt
circle around and see what this is all about? These guys look kind of
Let's, all right,
suspicious.
or let's actually land outside. Let's land in Durotar before we go to Echo and figure out.
Walk to the Echo Isles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that. Yeah.
So actually, we're landing in Senjin Village.
Which is directly across. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you land in Senjin Village.
Send our
Send
wyverns
your
back.
wyverns back.
Thank you for your service. Now return.
Yeah, and
Give them ear scratches.
they turn fly back.
They're giant lions with scorpion tails and wings. So it's like ear scratches. I feel like a pie.
And as they make their way back, you turn and are faced with the trolls of Senjin Village, and there's still a couple of Korkron here. Not as many, nowhere near as many as are on the Echo Isles themselves, but you see at least two of them present.
Something is different.
I will look over. I will. We've met people in Sinjin Village, haven't we?
Yeah,
Do we know the elder?
Master Gadrin.
In Zandali. Is Master Gadrin here?
One of the trolls turns. Yeah, he'd be in his tent up there.
Thank you. Is that where the Korkron are? Or?
No, they're just sort of wandering around the village, keeping an eye on things.
To those, I'm going to go speak with Master Gadrin and see if we can get an image of what's going on.
That sounds like a good idea.
Shall we accompany you, or do you wish to?
If you want, though, I would also like somebody to keep an eye on what's going on, as I indicating to the Korkron.
I'm going to do that.
Thank you. If you and Jungle Tall will keep an eye on the Korkron.
I'll go with you.
So
Yeah, I'll follow you.
You guys with us.
Yeah.
The bigger targets and the goblin.
you make your way
The
over
bigger
to Master
targets, the
Gadrin.
goblin and the priest.
You guys make
So,
your way into
two big targets.
You're a healer, that's a big target. And then we got the Tauren and the big orc.
I mean, you were saying.
Yes.
They're military.
Okay.
They have targets. They have
Yeah,
target prioritization.
You're a target priority.
You're a talkie.
You and I are the target priorities as far as military concerns.
Geek the
And
mage.
also for military concerns, I'm also, a half-orc priest of the Holy Light. I think that
Do they get
elevates my
their
targeting.
orcish do they get their racist advantage against him?
Everyone gets racist advantages.
they're
against me, don't
racist.
they?
that's not
Their racist bonus?
that's not the 5th edition.
I know it's not. I know it's not.
If
3.5.
if this was 3.5, yes, they would.
Because they're considered human for all purposes.
And orc for all
And
purposes.
orc for all purposes.
So if you ask a porpoise, he'll just be really confused.
Humans get a
Yes.
+2 to hit you, and orcs get a +2 to hit you.
+1.
Was it +1? I
Yeah.
forget what the
Plus
racist
1 to
bonus
hit and
is.
damage.
The racist bonus. Anyways, I head in to talk to Gadrin. And in Zandali. What was it? What was his title?
He's just Master Gadrin.
Master Gadrin.
Ah, I see the newcomers from the Valley of Trials return, all grown up.
It's been a while.
Been over a year.
Yes.
What brings you back to Senjin?
We were on our way to the Echo Isles, but we noticed the Korkron have seemed to be out in force.
You see that then? Well, now you see how the war chief treats one of the oldest allies of the Horde. The Echo Isles be under martial law.
Where is Vol'jin?
On the Isle.
Would there be any resistance to us going to him?
I doubt it. You lot not be trolls, except for him. But he not be a Darkspear.
Well, then I guess we'll make our way out there. Though,
We just go and
Josh, do you need to see the person you're sending a message to?
it's what
I can send a very
You do
short
not need to see them,
message to anyone I know.
But it can be blocked by a thickness of stuff in the way.
yeah.
I can send
It's like
messages
60.
regardless of distance, but
Well,
they have to
yeah.
be very short.
His spell is.
It's also a 3rd level spell, so
Well, because all we have to relay is information.
21, is it 21 words, I believe?
25.
25 words? That's not super short.
Like a tweet.
All we've got to do at this point is relay information.
Yeah,
So
yeah, just
perhaps we
let
just
them
send a
know.
message and then head to Orgrimmar, rather than
Do you
rather
want me
than letting it be known that he's in contact with outside forces.
True.
I mean,
Unless you'd have an ability to get a message to him for us, Master Godric.
I'll be allowed to walk between the isle if you want.
Well, we could also go back to our little fortress, and there's some workmen there that we could just send back to him, and they could tell.
They are
give
doing
the message.
renovations.
They're
They-
doing renovations.
They, at the very least, have been seen in our
Yes,
guild hall,
right.
whereas Master
Well,
Gadrin,
well, they haven't
whereas Master Gadrin lives here in Sinjin Village,
Yeah,
and thus is less suspicious than some.
right.
of the others.
Yeah, if he could give a message for us, that'd be better. But
What was the message you were supposed to give to him?
You've delivered your letters.
we just
And-
need to do-
well,
but-
no, that's all we have to.
I didn't know if
send
there
on.
was anything else from
No,
like
we just-
Jaina.
We delivered the mail.
Yeah.
Just let him know that we've delivered.
At the
it.
same
It doesn't
time-
matter.
He be providing aid to you. It'd only be courteous that you go to visit him.
That's true. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Yes. Well, let's go there then.
I mean, the worst going to happen is we have to
Worst that happens is we have to kill a bunch of Corcron.
precisely fight our way out.
And that's a pretty bad situation.
It is.
Well, what are these
While
things?
they're having this conversation,
Orcs.
Shiana's gonna stealth
orcs,
around
okay.
Yeah, Corcron are
Or
orcs.
and
illegal
watch
guard.
some of
Yeah,
these
blah, blah, blah.
Corcron.
They're the size of
That's
they're the size of me, but more trained.
When we
Don't
stealth.
give a damn. Okay, we can go back to our fort and I can get my steam suit and then we'll go.
Because that's not
23.
I just got a 20.
Cool. As you sort of follow them around, they don't seem to talk to anyone. They mostly just patrol and keep an eye out. They're just watching the village. They don't seem to be in the mood for conversation with anybody.
Okay.
They're definitely got a not necessarily openly hostile, but definitely wary and not
Are they
friendly.
Maghar or Greenskin?
They're greenskin.
Well then, let's go to Echo Island. Then let's go gather our party, or just start walking and assume that they'll catch up. Which I assume they will.
So, you all make your way to the Echo Isles.
Got it.
You are stopped and questioned very briefly by the Corcron. They ask why you're heading to the Isles. Presumably you say to meet with Vol'jin in regards to his assistance in building the guild hall.
I don't know. I'm going fishing.
Just to meet with Walton. Yeah.
So they let you through. And eventually you are led, when you ask one of the trolls, once you get across, they lead you to this large 2-story hut that has sort of a brazier on the lower level for some kind of incense ritual potentially. And as you enter, you see the sort of the red-haired visage of Vol'jin stepping down the stairs. Ah, I see you be returning. Welcome to the Echo Isles in all its glory.
We've noticed the Corcron presence.
It be hard to miss.
Our messages were delivered successfully. Rexar wanted to let you know that one Chen Stormstart would be joining him on it when he arrives.
Ah, Chen be a good man. I value his presence and his counsel. It'd be good to know he still be wandering this place.
Did Jaina have anything additional she wanted to pass back? Can you guys a minute?
So
I'm gonna say that's William.
how does Vol'jin just generally kind of seem just sort of exasperated with the situation for the most part?
Oh yeah, he seems real frustrated right now.
I know an Amani troll that could probably help him out, but he wouldn't probably like the method.
There were no additional words for us to relay back to you from Lady Proudmoore.
I
But
did not expect him.
I do wish to ask one thing. What exactly was in that letter that made it necessary to contact Varian? It was Varian that she contacted. Anduin. Contact Anduin Rin.
I could not tell you. I did not write it.
So it really was just Karen Blood who wrote it.
Bane.
Sorry, Bane.
Karen's dead.
What?
That doesn't stop people in this universe.
No, I know. It does. Kane didn't come back. He was old. He's like, I'm done. Bye. Peace.
Yeah. 'Twas Bane who wrote that first letter. I ask you to deliver it with the one I wrote for Rexar.
Oh.
And not be knowing its contents.
Well, is there any further that you require of us at the moment?
There be plenty that I be wanting. I don't know that your group be able to solve it just yet. But I keep you in mind. There only be so much I can do while I be watched like a traitor. This be what a war chief does to those who follow the horde. Just because we not be orcs. He kind of looks over his shoulder, walks over to the incense, and kind of tosses some herbs and ingredients into the brazier. This gonna come to a head eventually. Things not gonna stay like this. The Darkspear be a proud people. We not be standing for this kind of oppression. So, you have more questions on me? Anything I can ask, or you want your reward now?
I would simply say, I'm sure that I know you take your leadership very seriously, that you do truly believe in the cause of the Horde. But let me simply say it one more time, that this is a very dangerous game to be playing. That I would simply ask that you try to make this all as peaceful as possible.
Leaf.
Do I
There are
notice
armed guards patrolling their island.
Did I notice anybody with
Peace
weapons
packs.
except for the
Oh, a bunch of trolls have weapons, but they're not using them.
okay, but
That's why I said
the stuff
as
wasn't taken away
peaceful
from them.
as
No.
possible.
They're not. So it doesn't look like they were.
The Korkron are more heavily armed and armored than just about
Right.
everybody on the island, but
Right.
they have not
But
taken
they haven't
weapons from the
taken
trolls.
the weapons away necessarily.
No.
Okay, so it's not.
And
Okay.
the Vol'jin kind of looks up at you. Peace be a noble aspiration for oneself and one's people, but there come a time when warmongers like Garrosh don't listen to peaceful attempts. Let me show ya what a last conversation I had with a war chief of the Horde went down like. He says as he throws another ingredient into the fire, and his purple flame blows up from the brazier. And as a spectral image of Vol'jin appears above the flames, across from a spectral image of Garrosh. That is where we'll end for the week.
Hey, everybody.
Bye!
Farewell.
But